Hi. Most recently, we have been discussing Sutra 6195-80 in Siddhanta Kaumudi, Ang Mang Oscha. Ang Mang Oscha. Just for a quick review, when Ang or Om follow when is followed by either Om or Ang, the single Pararupam comes. And we found that there were several interesting features that came into play when we looked at the examples classically given by Batochi Dikshita and, as it happens, Prabhakara Shastri. Especially the second example, which is Shiva plus Ahi. Shiva plus Ahi. And the question comes, wait a second, how does Om or Ang feature into Shiva plus Ahi? How can that apply? How can it be relevant? That's when we had to dig a little deeper and see that Ahi is the result of a sandhi between Ang and Ihi. Ang and Ihi by Adgunaha becomes Ahi. Ang and Ihi. All right, so we see that there is some past relevance of Ang here, but how does that get us to a place where Omang Oscha could reasonably apply? That's when we recall the Sutra 1156, 49 in Siddhanta Kaumudi, and the video in our sequence is 28, Ashtadhyayi 28. This very interesting sutra, Sthani Vadadesho Nalvitao. Sthani Vadadesho Nalvitao. What that is saying to us is that with one exception, an adesha shall be sthanivat, meaning it shall be like the one it replaces. The substitute shall be like the one it replaces. Well, what is sthanivat exactly? Well, that depends on the situation. And in this situation, it has to do with Ang. So in this case of Ang plus Ihi becoming Ahi, the Sthanin is Ang and the Adesha is A. So by Sthani Vadadesho and Alvidao, the A, the Adesha, is got to be Sthanivat, meaning like Ang. Well, what does that mean? It means that behind the surface, A is Ang. A is still also Ang. And since A is Ang, when we have Shiva plus Ahi, we are also having Shiva plus Ang. And so, but Ang in the form of A, so then Ang Mang Oscha applies, and the single A of Ahi, the following one, will be substituted for both the preceding of Shiva and the A of Ahi. So we get the correct form Shivehi. Well, that's pretty cool. But after we finished that conversation, another thought came to my mind. Because as we approach the grammar in this way, where we start by learning the sutras by sound, and then by meaning, and finally by function, their sound is always present for us. So a little bulb goes off and I think, wait a second, there's another Ang back there. What about that? And this is 1114, Nipate Kajanang. Nipate Kajanang. Well, 1114, 103 in Siddhanta Kaumudi, and video 13 in our sequence. What was that all about? Nipate Kajanang. Now, what's really cool about this from my point of view is, one is that how it operates. It just, the sound is there and the sound triggers our memory of the sutra. Then we can go back and think, well, what is all of this about? And what it's about is the thread of pragrhya naming that we studied early on, very early on. And the reason pragrhya was important was because of a sutra which we've alluded to, but we have yet to formally study, which is Pluta pragrhya achinityam. Pluta pragrhya achinityam. Pluta and pragrhya achi pare. Achi, saptami of ach, ayum ayauch, saptami tasmeniti nirdishte purvasya. When Pluta or pragrhya are followed by ach, then nityam. You could say everything stays, nothing changes, everything remains, meaning no sandhi. Pluta pragrhya achinityam. So this was a series of sutras that gave the name pragrhya to various sounds and structures. Starting with idu de dvivachanam pragrhyam, adasomat, she, nipate kajanam. Nipate kajanam. So nipate kajanam, for a quick refresher, ekach, a single lettered nipata. Nipata ekach. A single lettered nipata is pragrhya. Pragrhya kamasanufurti. Idu de vacham pragrhyam adasomat she nipate kachanam. So, single letter nipata. Well, we learned something more about what nipatas are with prakrishvara nipataha chariyo sattve pradayaha, so on. But we get it that is a nipata. And when we discussed this sutra, we went into considerable detail about what constitutes ang. When is dirgha considered ang? But in this case, as I think is often the case, we don't need to sort that out for ourselves because we know that the of ehi is ang. We know it because we've been told it. So what's cool about this is ang is a single-lettered nipata. And if it weren't for nipate kachanang, not including ang, this sandhi couldn't take place. So here we are, 6195, probably thousands of sutras after nipate kachanang, and that one little proviso, nipate kach, a single letter nipata, is pragrhya anang. Anang, not ang. And all of a sudden, that is just what we need to know. So that the sandhi of ang and ihi can proceed. And we can have ehi, and then we have sthani vadadeshal vidao, and so then we have shivehi by angmang oscha.